All right. Hey, it's another Sunday. Another 46ers, 56ers, whether you're watching online. I don't know if you're watching online or if you're 4, 5, 6, whatever it is. It's another Sunday, and we're going to start with an activity, a game that we will play. And how the game will work is this. If you get the most points, people you're playing with, whether it's family, whether it's by yourself, maybe you compete against your alternate personality, come up with a name, maybe guess twice, I don't know. The winning person gets a prize. And this is the prize. You close your eyes and you imagine something, and that's your prize. So just close your eyes. What do you see? I saw a pencil. Yep, there we go. I don't know what you saw, but the prize is a pencil. It's a little strange, I know, but that's what we're playing for. Pencil today. You want a pencil. You can take a pencil from any family member you want. Whatever pencil you want. Maybe it's mechanical. I don't know. Anyhow, let's hit the game. Welcome. Today we're playing Name That Candy Bar. Name it. Can you name the candy bar for the winner of a pencil? Yes. What is it? First one is, says a sample. If you can't guess what this is, I think it's written on the chocolate bar. Take a guess. What do you think it is? Name it. Boom. Hershey's. There we go. Oh, maybe you're 1 for 1. You're closer to that mechanical pencil from your family. Name that candy bar number 2. Ooh, this is a good one. This is a good one. I love these. I love them. What is it? Boom. If you said Twix, way to go. You are way closer to that mechanical pencil. Name that candy bar number 3. This one might be a little tricky. It is an American candy bar. It is my favorite. I love this in blizzards. It tastes so good. Take a guess. It actually starts with a B. You can take a guess. American, you might not. Butterfinger. Oh, I love me a Butterfinger Blizzard. If you're in the States, get it from Dairy Queen, the best. Name that candy bar number 4. You are on your way. Number 4. Ooh, this one you should. I think we have these. Let's take a guess at this. What do you think it is? Put your guess in right now. Boom, 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 boom. Almond Joy. Love me some coconut. Come on. Last question. Winner takes all. Winner gets the pencil. Steal it. Take it from whoever. Any kind of pencil. Maybe it doesn't have an eraser. I don't know. What is this? Snickers! You're correct. Way to go. If you won today, you have won the grand prize of a pencil. Yes, huge prize. All right. I hope you enjoy the rest of the day.
Hey, Brooke here. Man, if you know me, then you would know that I love coffee. You'll obviously see that I have brownish blonde hair color, and then you'll know that I'm not great at sports at all. I actually have a secret gift of making a crazy dinosaur sound. What are you known for? Maybe you hide money in your shoe so that none of your siblings will find it. Maybe you are a pet lover, like all the pets. You're gonna be a crazy cat lady when you grow up. Maybe you have an incredible singing voice. You are like a rock star soccer player. You're one of 12 siblings. You love eating pizza, but maybe you don't know. Maybe you're asking yourself, who am I? What am I good at? I have no idea. What I want you to know is that God does know, because He created you. And the most important thing isn't what's on the outside. It's not our hair color, our eye colors, how much money. What really matters is what is on the inside. It's like this piñata. So on the outside, obviously, it's fancy, smancy, we've got all these bright colors, but that's not what's important. None of us care about what this piñata looks like on the outside. What we care about is what's on the inside. What really matters is what is on the inside of here. It's the inside that matters. This is where the good stuff is at. I want what's on the inside. Oh God. Ah! The inside! Starburst! Yes! Yellow one! Ooh, tie-dye. This is actually really great. This is 2 different colors. Banana. Delicious. So this, what's on the outside, is not what matters. This is the good stuff. This is what matters. Psalm 139. Search me, God, and know my heart. When you're asking yourself, who am I? You simply ask that same question to God and He will begin to show you who you are. It's simply, God, who have you created me to be? What are those gifts and talents that are in the inside? As you ask God, He will begin to show you who He's called you to be.
And then my brother used to chase me around with a piece of paper trying to paper cut me, and he told me that if he paper cut my neck, I would bleed to death and die, and so I was always afraid of paper and paper cutting myself.
Ooh, hey grades 4 to 6s. Man, I didn't hear you there. I've just been laying here getting personal about my life and the things that matter to me and some of the weird things about me. But this month, we're talking about being personal, and we're looking at the life of Zacchaeus. And so, well, I'm gonna stay here and do a little more reflecting on who I am and the things about me, but why don't you stick with us today, and we're gonna check out some truth from the life of Zacchaeus about how God is personal with the things that we care about.
And here's the truth. We all do this. I mean, think about it. I bet you can all picture someone in your life right now that you think you have figured out. You think you know who they are and what they're into and what they're like. You think you understand what matters to them and what they care about. And you've probably thought those things based only on assumptions or observations from a distance. You don't really know what matters to them, but you think you do. And that's because, like we said, it can be easy to think we have people figured out. It can be really easy to feel like we know people personally, even when we don't. And while that may not seem like that big of a deal, I think it actually has the potential to impact both others and ourselves in some not so great ways. Now, for starters, we tend to only hang out with people who we think are like us. People who care about what we care about. And that means we leave out or avoid or exclude people who we think are not like us. Not only do we miss out on people who might bring great things into our lives, but sometimes we also hurt them, whether we mean to or not. Or these assumptions we make about ourselves and others makes us feel like maybe we're the ones who don't fit in. We feel stuck and lonely and misunderstood. We feel like nobody understands what really matters to us. Like nobody really knows us on a personal level. And that's why I love what Jesus did in the story of Zacchaeus. Jesus didn't make assumptions. Jesus made it personal by truly understanding what mattered to Zacchaeus. Now, before we get too far into Zacchaeus' story, let me give you some background on what was happening at the time. Jesus was becoming extremely popular. So more and more people were starting to follow him. He had fulfilled prophecies, he'd worked miracles, and some of his sermons pretty much went viral. It's safe to say that people thought Jesus was a pretty big deal. In this story we're about to read, Jesus was on his way to Jerusalem and had just entered a city called Jericho. Now, the crowd in Jericho was so excited to see Jesus that they welcomed him with palm branches and shouts of Hosanna, which is basically a term used to celebrate and express joy back then. It'd be like us going like whoop whoop. Like, can you imagine that? Jesus walks in and you're like whoop whoop, what's up, Jesus, right? Like, it was here that Jesus had his last recorded personal encounter before he died on the cross. And that encounter was with Zacchaeus. Now, Zacchaeus wasn't someone you'd expect Jesus to personally connect with. In fact, I'd say it was probably the opposite. See, Zacchaeus didn't have the best reputation. He was a chief tax collector, which meant that he had to collect taxes, just take money from the citizens on behalf of Rome. Now, the problem was that tax collectors at this time were known to be dishonest and untrustworthy. Most people thought they were greedy thieves, so that's how most people viewed Zacchaeus. Now, if anyone could have made the argument, I don't really have time for you, it probably would have been Jesus in this moment. But instead, a different story took place. It says this: he wanted to see who Jesus was, but because he was short, he could not see over the crowd. So he ran ahead and climbed a sycamore fig tree to see him, since Jesus was coming that way. When Jesus reached the spot, he looked up and said to him, Zacchaeus, come down immediately. I must stay at your house today. So he came down at once and welcomed him gladly. Now, based on how the crowd viewed Zacchaeus, I bet what Jesus did surprised everyone. But Jesus saw something about Zacchaeus that the crowd didn't. The crowd saw someone who greedily took more money than he should have. The crowd saw someone who kept all the nice things for himself. The crowd had every reason to assume that what mattered to Zacchaeus was money and wealth. But Jesus saw a grown man who had run ahead of the crowd to climb a tree. Jesus saw someone who was so interested in meeting the rumored Savior that he didn't care what his reputation was or what assumptions people made about him. Jesus saw a man desperately interested in finding hope. Zacchaeus wanted hope so desperately, he climbed a tree just to get a glimpse of a guy he heard might be able to give it to him. The people thought they knew all about Zacchaeus. To them, he was nothing more than a greedy, sinful traitor. The exact opposite of the kind of person Jesus should have noticed, let alone asked to hang out with. Jesus knew what Zacchaeus did for a job and what people thought about him. But Jesus didn't let assumptions tell him who Zacchaeus was personally or what really mattered to him. Jesus made his interaction with Zacchaeus personal because Jesus knew what mattered to him. And the truth is this, Jesus does the same for us. See, it's personal because Jesus knows what matters to you. Jesus sees more than what everybody else sees. Jesus sees into the very heart of all of us. He looks past all the outward things like reputations and assumptions. So the next time you wonder if anybody cares about what you care about, the next time you feel alone or misunderstood or just out there on your own, think about Jesus. Think about how he knows you in a personal way. Someone who knows your world and knows what matters to you. Who cares about the real you, not the one that everyone thinks they know. Remember, it's personal because Jesus knows what matters to you.
Search me, God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me. Search me, God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me. Lead me in the way everlasting. Lead me in the way everlasting.
Well, glad you could join us, grades 4 to 6s. I'm going to close our time in prayer, and we'll look forward to seeing you again next week. God, thank you so much that you care enough about us, that just like Zacchaeus, you call us down from our tree and the things that other people see about us and they assume about us, and you actually care to get to know us. God, would you help us to be people who care to get beyond the surface of other people? That we would search out their hearts and know what really matters to them. Would you show us how to love well because you love us well? In Jesus' name, amen. See you next week.